Hello and welcome back to the channel. As you can see, I'm back on the bike again following my recent open heart surgery. Both e-mountain bike and gravel bike, and I'm absolutely delighted. So it's been 3.5 months now since my open heart surgery, when I had a double bypass and a new aortic valve inserted into my heart. Generally speaking, things have gone very well. No real issues, although I did have a few days recently where I felt a bit sore all over. I felt very arthritic in all my joints, my fingers and toes and things, and generally felt a bit run down, so I made an appointment to see my doctor, and she was pretty blunt. It's only a few weeks since you had a very serious operation, she said. For goodness sake, take a rest. She was right. So I went off in the campervan with Gina for a few days and immediately felt so much better. I think I was just slightly overdoing it, but the body tells you these things. I've been walking and hiking a lot, but it's taken me a wee bit longer to get back on the bike, and that's for a very good reason. To access my old ticker, the surgeon had to saw my breastbone in half, pull it apart, and then put it together again after the operation, pin it together. And apparently it takes about 3 months for the sternum to fuse back together, so I was kind of reluctant to get on the bike and put added pressure on my sternum whilst it was still healing. I was reluctant to put pressure on it too soon. You get a surprising amount of pressure on your chest when you're leaning forward on a bike, especially when you've been off-road on a mountain bike. And your chest has to kind of absorb all the effects of lots of bumps and holes in the trail. But hey, it feels good now, and there's no pain or added pressure. And I've taken the decision to use my non-electric gravel bike as much as I possibly can. Now, I don't want to get into the whole debate about whether e-bikes are as good for your fitness as normal bikes. I simply want to get as fit as I can, as fast as I can. And the truth of the matter is this. I'm really enjoying riding my gravel bike again, under my own steam, without the debilitating effects of angina. For too long, for 5 years or so, I've suffered pain and kind of nausea when I've pushed myself too hard, on the bike, riding up a hill, or riding when I've been under stress. And in that time the e-bike has been brilliant, but now I'm really enjoying puffing and panting and overcoming the effects of riding uphill just because I can. I couldn't before, but I can now, and I look forward to getting stronger and fitter so I can ride further without any of these horrible ill effects. Although I have noticed something kind of quite interesting. As your cycling fitness improves, you don't notice the fact that you're actually getting fitter. You just notice you're going faster and further. And that's what I love about cycling. And I have an aim. Next year I'll be 75, and for that birthday I want to do a big bike ride. Not 100% sure what and where, but I'll certainly let you know near the time once I've kind of made my mind up where I'm going. But for the moment I need to carry on getting myself back to fighting fitness, and I'm determined to enjoy doing that.
Something that I've been missing and I'm looking forward to get back into again is to do a wee bit of bike packing, loading up my camping gear and heading off for a night or two. I haven't actually been out in my tent for quite a while now, so I'm kind of looking forward to it. See if we can find a nice spot to spend the night. One new item of gear that I've packed for this trip, although I kind of hope I don't have to use it in anger, is this electronic bike pump from a company called Cycplus. It's called an AS2 Pro Max tyre inflator, and the company makes all kinds of bike accessories, from inflators to bike computers and things for blowing up your SUP and things. They asked me if I'd like to try one of the inflators, and I was kind of intrigued. Using the AS2 Pro couldn't really be simpler. You just hold down the power button to fire it up, then use the plus and minus buttons to select your target pressure. Shove the pump on the valve, hit the power button again, and it will inflate the tyre, stopping automatically when it hits the target pressure that you've already set. You get a bunch of accessories too: a silicone cover, a waterproof bag, an extension hose, some bits and pieces to convert it to a Shrader valve, a football valve, and a USB-C cable for charging. And if you prefer, you can use the little extension hose that comes with the pump. It's more like a traditional hose that you'd find in on a mini pump or a normal bike pump.
And if you're a cycle tourer who uses a tent with an inflatable ridge pole, as many backpackers do nowadays, then you can use this pump to blow up your tent as well as your bike tyres. The pump takes about an hour to charge from an electric source, and once charged you're ready to go. It's quite simple. To be honest, I haven't really used it in anger yet. I've not had a puncture for quite a wee while, but I do use it to check how much air is in the tyres, and on the gravel bike I sometimes decrease the pressure in the tyres when I'm on kind of rough stony ground or muddy ground, just for a bit more riding comfort. And with this inflator, it's an absolute doddle blowing them back up again, when I eventually hit tarmac. As you can see, the inflator is tiny, about 80mm by 60 by 30, and it weighs a mere 205 grams. The battery is about 6.6 watt hours, and I think, and don't quote me on this, I think there's enough power to fully inflate a tyre like the ones on my gravel bike about 5 times. Now, there are many pros to this little pump, and I really do like it. It's great, but the big downside is the price. It's roughly about £100, depending, of course, where you buy it. If you follow the referral link down below, you'll get a 5% discount, and I suppose every little bit helps. Yeah, I know it's a lot of money for a bike pump, but I guess it depends on how much value you put on such things, such accessories as this, and how fast you want to fix your puncture. I've used CO2 inflators in the past, but with the best will in the world, they're a sort of one-shot solution. Make one mistake and you're stuffed. You really need to double check the valve is off before you start. You need to be careful screwing in the canister, and you need to be sure you have a good seal on the valve. And I've never really got on with them for some reason. With a pump like this, it's almost impossible to get it wrong.
Well, that's me tucked away quite nicely in the tent, looking forward to a nice quiet night here. I've got the brew on, I'm tucked away quite nicely in a corner of the forest, so I'm looking forward to a calm night. If you've enjoyed this video, could I ask you to consider subscribing to the channel? It helps a lot, and maybe tick that little like box, that helps a lot too. So for the moment, thank you very much for being with me. I hope you go out there and enjoy your own adventures, whether it's on foot, whether it's on bike, or whether it's on your camper van. Go and enjoy the great outdoors. But for the moment, we'll see you next time. Bye bye.